sky. Ask the Sword Sect. Mu Chongxi looked at her incredulously. Are you still wanting to sleep while asking the Sword Sect? Before dawn, you have to meditate and practice your sword. Heart class at noon, and one-on-one actual combat in the evening. No. In the world, they will be surpassed if they don't work hard. Yi Qiao. This is too curly. She looked like a subway grandpa looking at his phone. What about Cheng Feng Sect and Bai Shui Sect? Mu Chongxi counted on his fingers. The Changfeng Sect is a group of monsters. Every day, they pursue the idea that ugly things are not worthy of joining the sect. They are very strict on appearance. He looked at Yi Qiao. You look pretty good, but they only accept male students. Is this still discriminating against men and women? It's all in the realm of comprehension. Hey. That's not true, it's just that their sect's mentality is special, and female disciples are not suitable. As for eating, the Bishui sect doesn't eat. Most of them have alchemy disciples, because they have to prepare for the big competition, so it's important to practice on weekdays, so it's enough to only eat bigudan. Yi Qiao. Is this comprehension world going crazy? She was completely desperate, and simply asked the most critical question, so which sect can eat enough and sleep? Mentioning this, Mu Chongxi regained his energy. That must be our Changming sect, our food is the best. Each meal has 5 steamed buns. They don't have many sects, but they have a lot of steamed buns. Mu Chongxi, who entered the sect at the beginning of the year, was desperate after eating steamed buns, so he persuaded the second and third senior brothers to defect from the sect together. Yi Qiao clapped her palms and decided, I'll go to the Changming sect. It's not about the 5 steamed buns, it's mainly because she likes to go to Changmingzong's kind of nonsense. Ah, the lively sect. When will your sect be able to sign up? Mu Chongxi scratched the back of his head, vaguely remembering that when he came down the mountain, the suzerain sighed and said that he hoped to pick up a few good seedlings when recruiting from the outer sect today. Today. It seems that the deadline for registration is tonight. He looked a little surprised. Don't you know? No matter how you say it, Changming sect is one of the 5 major sects in the cultivation world, and the recruitment of outer sects is such a big deal, even the ignorant and ignorant casual cultivators should know about it, right? Yi Qiao really didn't know. She was silent for a few seconds and asked, so what time is it now? Does she still have a chance? Mu Chongxi also came to his senses suddenly, and he yelled at the top of his voice, the recruitment will end in half an hour, and if you slow down, it will be too late. Throwing the long sword in his hand, it suddenly became bigger in front of his eyes. He stepped on it first, and stretched out his hand towards Yi Qiao. Come up. Those who can control the sword must have a cultivation base above the foundation. But the young man in front of him seemed to be about the same age as himself, and he had already established a foundation. She was not pretentious, she stretched out her hand and was pulled on the sword by him. The long sword was suspended in the air and then fled into the sky. Yi Qiao successfully experienced the feeling of soaring. The surrounding scenery could not be seen clearly at all, and people who were fast were dizzy. Mu Chongxi wanted to return to the sect before closing the door, otherwise he would be beaten up by Elder Zhao, and it was too late, so he hurriedly urged the sword formula to speed up again. Yi Qiao was a little afraid of heights, afraid of falling herself, grabbed Mu Chongxi's hair tightly, and managed to split it open. Ah, do you have a driver's license? She almost vomited. Mu Chongxi screamed in pain. Don't pull my hair. As the two tugged like this, the blade of the sword became a little unstable and began to shake. Just at this time, a flying boat came over. Damn it, hide away. Ellipsis. Changmingzong. It will be over in half an hour. The young man sighed softly. Where can I find a genius for you, Elder Zhao? As long as the aptitude is better this year, don't they all go to other sects this year? Mingzong. It will be over in half an hour. The young man sighed softly. Where can I find a genius for you, Elder Zhao? As long as the aptitude is better this year, don't they all go to other sects this year? Over the past century, Changmingzong has been at the bottom of the competition, and the resources can't keep up. Naturally, the disciples received are all mediocre. But there is no choice. There must be new blood in the general election once every 10 years. Elder Zhao didn't have much hope, but seeing that Dabi was less than a year away, he wanted to try his luck in recruiting from the outer sect, in case he could find some talents with outstanding talents. That brat Mu Chongxi hasn't come back yet. The boy shook his head. He has gone to the black market again. I don't do my job all day long. Elder Zhao snorted coldly. With these few sloppy personal airs, it would be easier to expect a few of them to win the Zongmen Grand competition next year than to expect a good seed to fall from the sky. Seeing that the sky was getting darker and there were no disciples who came to sign up for a long time, Elder Zhao waved his hand, and when he was about to take these outer sects back home, the young man suddenly said, "Elder, something seems to have fallen from the sky." Elder Zhao. Ha! He was a little dazed, and in the next second, he saw two people falling from the sky, accompanied by screams and the sound of shit. The feeling of weightlessness made Yi Qiao flip over quickly when she was about to reach the ground, and land handsomely. Mu Chongxi also adjusted his posture a second before landing. The movement of the two of them landing was so loud that they successfully smashed a big hole in the ground. Mu Chongxi slowly stood up from the pit. He was immersed in the emotions just now and was a little excited. Fuck, it's so exciting. Did you see the handsome posture I just landed on the ground? I named it. How about calling it Golden Rooster Independence? Yi Qiao was very supportive. Wonderful tilde. The two climbed out of the pit one after the other, and they looked up to meet the death stare of an old man with a fairy style. Elder Zhao looked at the human-shaped pit on the ground, and his heart rate quickened. He pointed at the two with trembling hands, and was furious. Who told you to smash the hole in the back mountain? Do you know how expensive it is to repair the ground? Yi Qiao hesitated for a moment. Then let me fill in the hole for you. Mu Chongxi and Yi Qiao hooked their shoulders together. It's okay, it's just a trap. Elder Zhao is not such a stingy person. Elder Zhao took a deep breath, not wanting to see Mu Chongxi, this disgusting thing, and asked Yi Qiao, "What are you doing here?" Yi Qiao said sincerely, "I want to worship Changming Sect." Elder Zhao, I think you are trying to anger me on purpose. A group of outer disciples who had just signed up looked at Yi Qiao in awe. Cow. Of the 5 sects, only the outer sect has thousands of new disciples. How difficult is it to be remembered by the elders of the inner sect among more than 1,000 people? But Yi Qiao did it. On the first day of registration, the freshman quickly became famous in such a way of riding the dust, and at the same time, Elder Zhao remembered Yi Qiao's name deeply. The young man next to him who hadn't spoken could not help but smile. Where did this come from? Fearing that Elder Zhao would be angry, he suppressed his watching expression, showed a gentle smile, and glanced at Yi. He suppressed his watching expression, showed a gentle smile, and glanced at Yi Qiao lightly. Name. Yi Qiao. The young man nodded, and engraved her name on the white jade pendant. Take it, the talent test will take place in a month. Yi Qiao thanked her. She hadn't had time to observe the buildings in the realm of self-cultivation in Yuqingzong before. Maybe it was the fault of the designer. After observing it, she sighed, "Your place is so beautiful. Whether you look at it horizontally or vertically, or from the perspective of human development, you can't find any faults here. My name is Zhu Yu." Seeing that she was very interesting, Zhu Yu smiled slightly. One of the personal biography of the Changming clan. Yi Qiao was slightly taken aback. Zhu Yu. Isn't that the warm male spare tire in the novel? She didn't answer for a long time. Zhu Yu didn't care. He suppressed his smile, and glanced at his junior brother. Where did you pick this disciple? Mu Chongxi didn't hear his joke, and scratched the back of his head. I met her on the black market. She said she wanted to come to our Changming sect, so I brought her here. The young man was silent for a few seconds, glanced at Yi Qiao, and then sent a voice transmission in his heart. Are you sure you haven't been used by anyone? How conspicuous is Mu Chongxi's personal robe? Although he was unwilling to speculate on a little girl with malice, how could he know that she was not eyeing Mu Chongxi's personal identity and using him as a silly and sweet junior? Mu Chongxi was dissatisfied. You have a dark mind, and you see others as dark as you. Zhu Yu. This stick. The two communicated in private, and Yi Qiao couldn't hear it at all. After she came back to her senses, she looked at Mu Chongxi and wanted to thank him. Thank you just now for planting me all the way and bringing me to Changmingzong. What she said just confirmed Zhu Yu's thoughts, and he looked at Mu Chongxi with an expression that was not expected. Isn't this just a relationship? Yi Qiao really came to thank Mu Chongxi, but she is a poor person, so she said cheekily, if you don't say thank you for your kindness, then I won't thank you. Senior brother Mu will meet later. After she finished speaking, she was about to run away, leaving Mu Chongxi in a mess in the wind. He came to his senses and grabbed Yi Qiao. Didn't you make some money in the black market? Considering you are so poor, the spirit stones you earned will be 3 to 7. Yi Qiao opened her eyes slightly. She didn't expect that he would even be greedy for this bit of spirit stone. She shook her head. I'm poor, you 2 and 8. Mu Chongxi was also unbelievable. Are you greedy for just such a few spirit stones? Yi Qiao said seriously. This is not about Lingxi. His face softened, and he heard Yi Qiao say again, this is my lifeblood. The corner of Mu Chongxi's mouth twitched fiercely. Forget it, I don't want it anymore. He didn't even care about a little Lingxi. Other monks would have been extremely ashamed, but Yi Qiao was shameless. Oh, then I won't give it. She said sincerely. After all, talisman paper is quite expensive. Mu Chongxi. Zhu Yu. He had never expected this development. Chevron _ left previous home index neck loots when she arrived at the courtyard where she lived after receiving her ID card.